Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I'm joined by WBA #1 and the Golden Boy's latest signing, Ohara Davies. Ohara, how are you today, mate?
I'm good. You know, I was a man under the bus, now I'm a man in demand, so I'm doing great.
Definitely, mate. We'll jump straight into that then. I mean, man in demand, multiple offers flying around for you. Obviously, WBA #1, mandatory to Rolly Romero. I mean, how has it been that?
It feels good, you know, to get back on the big stage. My boxing career has been like a total roller coaster over the past few years. Been up and down, then up and down. But now I'm at the top that I've ever been. I'm more in demand now than I've ever been in my boxing career. And I believe that I'm in my prime now, and now's the time for me to make as much money, as much success, win as many titles as I can. And the world title is within my reach, and I'm going to grab it with both hands.
Definitely, mate. Obviously, we'll touch on that. Sign of Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. Obviously, you touched on that, make as much money, win as many titles. Obviously, there's a reason why you chose Golden Boy. Is that the reason? They're the ones to give it to you.
Oscar, I think Golden Boy is the best in the business. They're the best promotion in boxing, in my opinion. And as a boxing fan, I've always looked up to Oscar De La Hoya from when I was a kid. He was one of my boxing childhood idols. So to sign to him, it's a dream come true. You know, I've been signed to Eddie Hearn, I've been signed to Frank Warren. They're both big names, and as promoters, they're both big. But I feel like Oscar De La Hoya takes it to a whole nother level, and that's going to reflect in my boxing.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, mandatory to Rolly Romero. It's fair to say a fight that you're very, very confident. Let's talk about that fight briefly. What do you know about it?
I know that he talks a lot of trash. As a fighter, he's an okay fighter. He ain't anything special. There's nothing that I've seen him. I think, oh, he's a special fighter, but because he's not. He's a bang average fighter, and he's lucky to be a world champion. We all know that Ismael Grosso should have won the fight, so he's lucky to be where he's at. But nevertheless, if the fight does go through, I expect him to work hard, and I'm expecting the best Rolly that I've seen in the past. So he's still not a fighter that I can afford to overlook. Still someone I've got to be in tip-top shape for, and I believe in no stone unturned.
Definitely, obviously you're looking at not overlooking people there, but obviously kind of I have to ask the question. Obviously a certain Ryan Garcia is still signed to Golden Boy. Obviously is it fairly difficult to kind of obviously ignore that kind of say not like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
To be honest, I'm not thinking about Ryan Garcia yet. Everyone that I meet, everyone's going on about Ryan Garcia, but the truth of the matter is I need to get through Rolly first. If the Rolly fight, if I don't win that fight, then there ain't no Ryan Garcia fight. So I got a tunnel vision. I'm only looking at what's next. You know, I made a mistake in the past where I've overlooked opponents, and Taylor was the last opponent that I overlooked, and I paid for it in a massive way. So since then, I'm not thinking about Ryan Garcia. If I win the fight against Rolly and then that fight's there next, then I think about that. But as of now, just my next fight.
Is that kind of obviously in the past in your career? You mentioned that kind of Is that one way kind of you've matured over the years? You don't not overlooking fights, being prepared for kind of what's in front of you instead of what's to come. I
think I've matured over the years. It's all about experience, and I didn't have anyone to teach me the game. I've had to learn on the go. Whereas other people might have learned the game, they're more media trained and they're used to being around the lights, cameras and action, whereas everything to me, I was doing it for the first time. So I've had to learn on the go, and you know, I've learned in a pretty hard way, but at least I learned. Better late than never.
I mean, pressure makes diamonds, mate. I mean, you've gone through that. It's testament to you to bouncing back and kind of being where you are. I do want to touch on Will Jones as well, your coach now. I mean, obviously not many people know Will as a coach. Obviously, driving stable with Jordan Perkins is doing a little bit of a move around there. Tom Welling for Eaton, who I've just interviewed. I mean, how important has Will Jones been in kind of, I don't want to say resurgence, but the kind of the current
Will's played a really big part in my comeback. You know, Will's played a really big part. And Will's a good coach. You know, a lot of people, they overlook the coaches that are not known. You know, they got the known coaches, the David Caldwell, the Ben Davisons, the Tony Sims. These guys, they're all good coaches, the Joe Gallaghers, and they're all good coaches. But people overlook people that are not known, like the Will Jones. You know, we got Billy Rumble right here. He's a trainer for Martin Madonna. Like, he's a really good coach. And I've been seeing these guys that are not really up there as coaches. Like, they're not really as known. They're not as mainstream, but they're good at what they do, and they sit behind the scenes. They're not trying to be known, and famous, but they're really good at what they do. And I think me and Will Jones gel. So I've been with him for years. He's been patient with me. You know, the first time I joined him, I was fighting once a year for about 3 years. I wasn't earning nothing really. And he was just patient with me in the gym, day in, day out. But during that time, we got to learn each other. We got to gel together even better than we gelled at the start. And you know, I like to end my boxing career with him. You know, sometimes you meet someone and it just works and you just gel. And you know, I think if I was with Will at the start of my boxing career, it would have saved me from making a lot of the mistakes that I've made in the past. In the past, I've had coaches that cared about the cameras, coaches that cared about fame, coaches that just wanted me to fight and to get the knockout victory. We will just get the win. It's not about what fashion you get the win in. You don't have to look like just get the win. Whereas in the past, I've had coaches, you know, where it's a 10-round, 12-round fight. I've been up every round, and in the last round, they're saying to me, the fight's quite boring. It's not selling. It's not looking good on the TV. Go for the knockout, and then I might do that and end up getting caught and then getting stopped. But Will's got a different mindset. Will's like, get the win, be safe, and be smart. And you know, I think if I was with him at the start of my boxing career, it would have saved me from making a lot of the mistakes I've made.
Definitely, I mean, testament to all the Jones in there. Obviously, thriving stable at the moment, like we mentioned, Jordan Perkins, Brookings, and Tom Welland. I mean, obviously yourself, you're kind of the, I don't want to be rude here, but the senior member. I mean, how is it kind of playing that kind of more mature, the more seasoned professional in the gym?
To be honest, I think a lot of people might see it as I'm the seasoned pro in the gym and everyone else feeds off me and of my success, but I'm feeding off them. I see Jordan come in the gym, I'm seeing Tom, we got Tom Welland here, and I'm seeing these guys and they're new and they're so ambitious and they want it, and it reminds me of the hunger that I first had when I turned pro, and as the years go by, the hunger can go. And that's what happened to me. But when I come in the gym and I see the life that they've got, and they're fresh and they're full of energy, it makes me like, yeah. So they think that they feed off me. They don't know I'm feeding off them too. The same way that they feed off me, I'm feeding off them. So it's a perfect match. You know, it's a perfect match. Same way when I first turned pro, and I was in the Simmons gym, you had Luke Campbell there, AJ there, Kevin Mitchell when he was still fighting, and Ricky Burns, and I was just looking up to all these guys, and I fed off their energy, and now I'm playing the role that they played for other fighters, but I'm feeding off them the same way.
Perfect. It shows that your hunger for the fight. The fight game is still there, and I mean, not to mention as well, not only your stable mates, but most of the management stable mates. You've got Lee Eaton, Let's Go Management. I do want to touch on that in a minute. Obviously, thriving management stable. I feel like you want to be an active fighter. You start Talk to me, how has Lee and Let's Go helped you as well?
Lee's played a big role in my boxing career. You know, Lee's played a really big role. Lee works hard. You know, Lee doesn't have any days off. Whether he's on holiday, he's on the phone sorting things out. Lee's like, he's never really on. Like, he don't take time off. He might be out with the wife and the kids, but he's always on his phone, working, sorting out a deal. And you know, sometimes I get a text from Lee and I'm like, okay, cool, I've got this deal sorted out, what do you think? And I go on his Instagram and he's out with his kids and wife, out in a different country somewhere. And I'm thinking, are you on holiday or are you doing business? And he does both. And this is what it needs, because this boxing game is not on and off. For the fighters, yeah, but for the managers, no, it's not. And especially someone like Lee, because Lee's got a big stable. Lee's got how many managers, how many fighters has he got? Probably over 20 to 30 of us, a lot of us. So he has to make sure that he's on it 24/7, so everyone gets the right time, so that there's not anyone that feels like their managers doesn't care about them, or the managers too focused on the people making big money. So Ohara Davies is fighting for big money and he's not focused on the little ones. So Lee's got to focus on everyone. The fighters making big money like me, and the fighters that are just up and coming, maybe that might not be making any money. And I've seen what he does. Every week he's at a different show. Every weekend he's at a different show. We're sorting this out, sorting that out. Boxing's his life, and I think every manager needs to take note from that, because you know, Lee's only been around for a couple of years and he's doing more than what so many of these other managers do. And me being managed by other people in the past, and the way that I've been treated by other established managers, to how I've been treated with Lee, it's totally different.
Shout out to Lee Eaton every single time as well. Let's Go Management, thriving stable. mean, I just want to go back to the Rolly Romero fight. Obviously, delaying the first bit, I knew that you weren't too happy with that. But I mean, fairly confident. Obviously, Showtime and Golden Boy are going to be very aggressive in those.
Listen, I don't know whether this fight's going to happen because he said that he's injured. We all know that he's not injured. I know people in his gym. I speak to people in his gym. He's just trying to delay time, hoping that if he delays time, I'm going to fade out into the background or I'm going to fight against someone else so he can get the Ryan Garcia fight. I'm not stepping aside, I'm not going anywhere, I'm waiting right here. When I saw the person, it got delayed, I said, that's fine, I stayed in the gym. I was in the gym the same day. Ain't nothing taking me off my goal and my time. This is my time now to rule the world, become #1, the best in the world. If it gets delayed 3 or 4 months, I don't care, I will wait that time. I'm using that time to work hard, to gel with my coach even more, learn new skills and new tricks, and to me, it's all a plus. There ain't no negative, there ain't any negatives, there ain't no, there ain't nothing bad. Everything's good, everything works out in my favour. If it's been moved and been delayed for 2 months, it's in my favour. Maybe I can't see it right now, but somewhere in the background, it's working out to my favour, and that's how I see it. And he just delaying the inevitable. I'm gonna become world champion. Whether he vacates the belt, whether he'll get stripped, the WBA will put me up against someone else, one way or another, I'm becoming world champion. I'm becoming the best.
Perfect, I look forward to seeing it, mate. My final question, Ohara, thank you for your time. What does boxing mean to you?
Boxing means everything. Boxing's all I've ever known. When I was probably 18 years old when I started it as an amateur, it's all I've ever done, and I don't think I know anything else. Which is why when my career went up and down, and people thought that I retired. If I had another trade, if I knew anything else, maybe I would have said, you know what, boxing's not working out. I would have gone and done something else. But I don't know anything else but this. This is why I'm in the gym, whether I'm in camp or not. Ask my coaches, I'm always in the gym. I don't know anything else. So boxing to me means everything. Boxing is more than a job. It's a lifestyle. Keeps me at peace, keeps my sanity, keeps me calm, feeds me, puts food on my plate. I couldn't imagine life without boxing.
Perfect, that was one of the best answers to that question I've ever had, mate. Ohara Davies, thank you very much and best of luck against Ohara.
Thank you.
Thank you.